New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life, it's free. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hi, and welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson. And like Robyn said, we're girls behaving metaphysically on opposite sides of the planet right now. I'm in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And where
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay. Often I feel like, I'm like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? No, where in the world is Robyn?
Yeah, where's Waldo? I get it. Yeah. And it is September 18th and 19th respectively. So there you go. You're in two different time zones, and here we are together by the power and the magic and mystery of the airwaves.
But the question, Robyn, is, are we on the right timeline? Are we in the right
God. That is way too open-ended of a metaphysical question to start off with. Oh my God. Are we on the right timeline? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today is going to be an interesting day because we have discussing several topics of which we made no decision. So we're going to see where it takes us. And
well, we have some loose ideas. Like the change in season.
I said we had various topics. Yeah.
Okay.
We do. We have various topics, but we didn't land on anything. So I'm prepared for nothing and everything all at the same time. So
sounds good.
It sounds like you've had quite the week.
I would say so. I have had quite the week. I don't even know if I want to talk about it. That's the, you have those kinds of weeks where you're like, do I even want to talk about this? Because I'm still processing it, to be perfectly honest. Because in some ways, I mean, it's connected to all the stuff, I guess, that's been going on in the political realm in the United States, but it affected my family quite personally. And I don't really want to talk about it in that way. I just want maybe to say that just because you don't live in the US doesn't mean that the stuff that's happening there is not affecting all of us around the world.
Well, how can it not? I mean, I think that's just the microcosm of the macrocosm in some ways. Like, I think so many things that happen all over the world affect us and we don't even ever know what they are.
Yeah. I think this one was really direct because I guess what I'll at least say is it was a consequence of like someone who no one in Australia really knows that much about, Charlie Kirk. So like trying to explain like that to people here and how it's impacted my family. Like I was just like, what is going on over there? That's basically what I get, which is not helpful because, then I feel like I have to give this whole history lesson about enslavement and colonization and genocide and yeah, like this whole history of civil rights. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. I feel like I'm hiding in my house. Oh, I don't even know if I've gone outside this week.
Well, the good news is that, you really aren't going to have to say anything anymore, because all you do is say in America and people just know we're batshit crazy. I mean, we're just crazy. We look like crazy people. Because how did this happen? How can this go on? How could this be the most powerful, whatever, blah, blah. For me, anyway, it's just like going down the rabbit hole of what, how on earth did any of this happen?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like of course, it's I think the response to something like that requires complexity and nuance. And there is a part of it that's not that complex and nuanced. And it really has to do with the fact that America is a place where we have so many billionaires, well, a few, right? But they have most of the money, and they control our political system and corporations. And then the power of people, the rest of us, 99%, like we don't have the same political power. We can't donate millions and bajillions of dollars to campaigns, and we care about money. The U.S. money. The Supreme Court made corporations a person so they could donate. Ridiculous. Like, how could a regular person even if there is such a thing as a middle class anymore, compete with that? Like, it's like our elected officials are not beholden to us, and I think we gotta finally get that through our skulls. They're not beholden to us, and that's how we get there. That's the simplified version.
Yeah, the simplified version is follow the money, and what you just said. I mean, it's yeah. Let's talk about something else. It's too much. It hurts my head right now.
Yeah, and I can't drink today because I have to work afterwards, so I get it. I really wish we could move this show to a day where I could drink.
Oh God, I really wish we didn't have to have a day where I wish we didn't have to have a day where we needed to drink.
I know. Because the crap is still there after you're not drinking, so it's still all there.
It is. So tell me one good thing that happened this week. Okay, I'll tell. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I saw my therapist and spoke to my best friend, and they were both on the same page about my life. So I heard the same thing from two people I deeply respect, and they both said, "Don't go to the U.S. right now." And my best friend is a white Jewish woman, and she's like, "Don't come here."
Yeah, it was. I mean, we talked briefly, and I didn't really know what was going on, but my sense was whatever you were going for, it wasn't time to be going for it. There's just, yeah. So that's good. So I would have been on the same page, I'm sure. Intuitively, I'm sure that's where I would have been. For me, this week we talked a little bit about it on the show, that we went to the conference in Las Vegas, the New Thought in the Desert, and that was really great. It was really fun. It was very connecting, and I think one of the things that was nicest about it was that there was about 14 speakers, and they spoke, and they all stayed and did the workshops and sat through each other's stuff. So it wasn't like Sage on the Stage stuff. It was like we were really kind of a unified group of people that are wanting to improve life or the world or whatever you're wanting to do, but wanting to live into that place of, love and compassion and and improve yourself. So it was
Mm.
really very inspiring and fun. And we presented a workshop, which was fun and inspiring and connective. And I was thinking about it in the car. I was thinking, like, I was interviewing myself for the show. I was like, well, what would you say your workshop was really about? And what I said was, I think it's all about connection.
Mm.
Connection matters more than anything.
Mm.
And that's what, one of our mentors has always said to us about everything. Connection matters more than anything. And I think,
Mm.
especially in this time in the world
Mm.
where we're not feeling connected, it doesn't matter if you live with, your whole family and your 5 siblings and brothers and sisters. It's like it's such a disconnected, frenetic kind of energy that's out there with all that's going on,
Mm.
and it's so important to connect, you know. So anyway, so we had fun and that was good. And I won money in Vegas. That was good.
Ooh, whoop, whoop. That's always good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good because I was due. I was due some money. I like to say I like to say that when I go to Vegas, like if I don't really lose money. I just leave my money there to be picked up later. So
Okay.
it was time for me to pick up a little cash.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, so that was good. That was really good.
Mm. Well,
So yeah.
I'm buying a new computer today. I think I told you I took on this job that's based in the US, and I have to have a computer. I cannot use my MacBook Pro. It reads it as a mobile device, as if a laptop is not a mobile device. But anyway, so I've been putting it off because I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a new MacBook. But I'm going to today after work buy a computer.
Yay.
Finally. My computer has served me well, but she doesn't hold a charge anymore. I've had this MacBook Pro since 2015.
It's time. So
I know.
look at you, you're celebrating. So let's just reframe it all. Your 10-year anniversary with your MacBook, you're celebrating and you are about to recirculate and bless the world with your abundance.
Yeah, sure. I'm so cheap. I don't want to spend the money.
Oh well, you
I
know.
know I get it back in taxes. I know. I'm just so. And this was my birthday gift, not my birthday, my graduation gift to myself when I graduated in 2015 with my second master's degree. That was my graduation gift to myself. So, oh well.
All right. Well,
Gotta
sounds like it's time to do some reframing your thinking and looking into the future. So let's have our card pull of the week.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready.
here we go. I'm going you want Soul Woman deck or the Sacred Traveler deck?
Not traveler. I don't want travel. Soulful woman.
Soulful Woman. Here we go. Soulful Woman guidance cards. Ready for the pull of the week. Everybody ready up there? So set your intentions, hold that thought, and you tell me when. I'm shuffling.
When?
All right. Fearless self-love. Fearless self-love. Whenever I choose to love myself, no matter the circumstances surrounding me, I am practicing fearless self-love.
Can I show you the card that I pulled for myself this morning?
Yes.
Just because we lived in how are we with swearing? Can we swear here or no?
The producer is thinking.
Yes, you may swear now. We are from legal department. You are allowed up to 5 F-bombs per show.
Okay, so there's no F. Is there F? Yeah, no. Here's the card I pulled.
What is it? Not looking. What does it say?
Not loving myself is total BS.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
So talk more about that. Thank you, Michael Mangus, producer extraordinaire with his own show Friday nights at 6 o'clock Mountain Time.
Right here on your, and I mean your, New Thought Media Network.
There you go. All right. So so tell me your thoughts about that.
About which one? The one you pulled?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're basically the same. So whatever.
Yeah. Read yours again, because yours was like way more like nice.
Whenever I choose to love myself, no matter the circumstances surrounding me, I am practicing fearlessness.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, but I'm about to go somewhere completely political with it. So you might want to share first.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So when I pulled my card, which said not loving myself is total bullshit, I was thinking about like the ramifications of like these systems that we've created, right? These political systems, cultural systems, social systems, economic systems, like there's so, especially capitalism, it is so much based on feeling like you're not enough. You don't have enough, you got to get more, right? Like there's planned obsolescence. So like I would be happy to have this computer for as long as I could, but right, capitalism requires more, more, more. So often along with that, there's an emotional component that drives a world like that, which is like not ever feeling like you're enough, like you're lovable enough, you're good enough, all that. So for me, and then also when we think about things like racism and sexism, all that stuff is like based on like the hating of some group of beings, right? So sexism is about the hatred of women. White supremacy is about the hatred really of non-white people. And it can be tough not to internalize that crap. And I know it, I see it all the time. I work with so many people who, I mean, we can't help but internalize it, right? It's the air we breathe, the waters in which we swim. It's the fabric of our society. So every time we make a choice to just love ourselves completely, everything about us, from the color of our skin to the body we were born in, like it's almost like giving a middle finger to the system and a big hug to one's divine creation. So that's why I said it was going to be political.
Well, yeah, and I think that all of that said, that's for me on some level, that's the challenge, political or not. The challenge is if I'm going to love myself fiercely, for me, this is just for me, that means being in integrity with myself and knowing that I have to show up. And sometimes I'm going to do things that don't feel comfortable to me or familiar or other people might not like. But if I'm really standing in my truth and loving myself fiercely, which if we want to get political about it, might mean going out and protesting, or might mean, going to a immigration site and keeping watch for ICE, kind of thing, or whatever it means, wherever it means. But it means standing in this, like, really almost, it's a whole new understanding of loving myself fiercely.
Yeah.
One thing is to just go, I'm going to say no when I'm overloaded to things. That's not hard and a big step and a great step to take, but can I really, love myself as another, and really, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. As I'm listening to you, like I think about, because I know like, as far as like protest goes, just in terms of how I'm wired, like in terms of my sensory stuff, like I couldn't do a protest, but like But every time I have my clients, because I have clients from across the social spectrum, right? Like, so every time I'm working with my like a trans client, like just remembering that my job is to help them remember that they are exactly beautiful, wonderful, and lovable exactly as they are. Every time I work with a Black or brown person who has experienced colorism or internalized white supremacy, it is to remind them that every time they choose to hate something that's so uniquely divine about them, we power this system. We move away from creating the world that we all want to live in. To create the world we all want to live in, we must be willing to love ourselves fiercely as we are, and to make that choice. And it goes back to like the way Dr. King spoke about love. Dr. King said love is a verb. Like love is a thing. It's a thing. It's a choice. It's a verb. It's not just this feeling, right? It's justice in motion. Like, so every act of like self-love is like an act of social justice.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, absolutely. I was just going to add to that. And it's, you know, as much as we can call things similar, or this is just like when blah, 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 it's not. It's this moment. It's a new moment. And we've got to stay awake to that, because if we just look at what's happened in the past and go, oh, yeah, that happened before, and, you know, Hitler this, and so McCarthy that, and da da da. And we've survived all that. And so I think when we start to, you know, use those examples, sometimes we can get lazy around the work that needs to be done, you know? And, yeah, in my opinion, humble opinion, this is not a time for anyone to rest on their laurels, so to speak.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. I agree. And I think to look at historical similarities, I think it's fine. And even in every historical similarity, there is a uniqueness to the time, because this is this time, right? Like Hitler didn't have AI.
Right.
Right. So we're in this time. And so this time it is calling something from us, for us, that is
Yeah,
unique for this particular timeline, that I already
absolutely.
said coming into this our time today. I was like, I'm not sure I'm in the right timeline, but I'm here, so I must be in the right timeline.
Well, it's funny. I said the exact same thing today, in the like 20 minutes before our show started, to Gil in the car. I said, Hitler didn't have AI. Hitler couldn't use Twitter, you know, X. You know, I mean, it's true. And yeah, I wasn't saying don't look at what's happened in the past. And but what I'm saying is, don't look at what happened in the past and go, oh, so it'll be easy. We'll get through this, you know, because we see it and we see that we survived it. You know, it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. And I feel like, you know, we are redefining things with all the tools we have, and AI and all the things, social media. And I mean, things happen so fast and people know about it all so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. And you know, the survivors, look, I have to be mindful about how I say this. So let me really be mindful. Let me think about how I say. I will just say I did not come here merely to survive. Right? Like I feel like, if I think just about my ancestral line, they did that. They survived so that I could thrive. And so my job is to look at what stands in the way of thriving. So you know, I already said, like, so I remember my children, they was talking about the zombie apocalypse. And I told my kids, I said, I'm not trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm out. So don't even worry about me, because I'm not into the survival thing. I want to thrive. And I want to thrive even now. And I refuse to make Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and all those ghoulish behaving humans. I'm not going to turn them into my God.
I hear you, sister.
They
I
don't
hear
get
you.
to wipe out all that my ancestors have laid down for me to thrive. And yeah, no.
Well, it's so interesting because, we talked a little bit on the show when I did that regression type thing, where she did my 7th generation back, the 7th generation core life that I led. She went back to that. And what comes up for me when you're saying that about your ancestors, my ancestors, our ancestors, the ancestors, is, I was listening last night after this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing that's going on here in the United States. And then listen to somebody talk about, the McCarthy era and how people were being silenced. And what I know about the McCarthy era is that my grandfather was a big component of that. And in that when he was in the entertainment industry, and when they wouldn't let actors and people speak and they thought they were communists and he stood up for them, and he was, he fought for the other side of it. And someone came up to me one time at a funeral, old actor, and he came up to me and he said, I just want to thank you for your grandfather being that place. That, he didn't say it the way I would say it right now, but he thanked me for the work that he had done. And it was crossing my mind last night. I'm like, oh my God, it is generational, because I do the same work. We do the same work. We're standing in that place of going, this isn't right. This isn't okay. And we're not going to let it be okay.
Right.
And so it was like, a charge from the heavens or whatever. But it was that reminder that in some ways it's that reminder that time is continual, that here we are, doesn't matter what the situation looks like. It's gone on before. And what are we going to do? How are we going to stand in it this time? And so I think that goes right into fearless love.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what else can we do? What else can it be?
Yeah. The other thing that I think about this time in particular, which is why when people start talking about like, oh, this is like that time, what's happening now is impacting more people across social groups than ever, right? Like more people across social groups. So this isn't just about the plight of like Black people or African American people, or the plight of Latino people, or the plight of Native American people, or the plight of poor people. I mean, this is cutting across everything. The amount of people who are about to lose healthcare, like seriously, this cuts across. And I feel like if we cannot fall for the tricks of the past, so maybe that's a thing we can learn from, because the tricks of the past were based on making us believe we were somehow fundamentally different from each other. If we cannot fall for that type of division, then what is possible now is more powerful than anything we can ever look back on in history. Because this is going to cut across all sorts of lines of quote unquote social difference. It already is. It already is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that started with the pandemic, right? In that we all became connected on a whole different level, and so now we're more in tune with what's happening in, England or Canada or somewhere. Even if it's just a little bit, we're more open, and it's brought, and this is just another way, like you said, to connect us.
Yeah.
And I asked myself yesterday, I was like, and really, do we have to learn like this? Isn't there another way? No,
No. The answer is no.
clearly.
I remember reading this what is her name now? I can't think of it. Anyway, she wrote this article, and it was like back in the 1980s, but it was an article. Actually, it was more like a transcript from a speech that she gave about nuclear proliferation in, oh God, it was either Angela Davis or the woman who wrote The Color Purple. I'm so sorry. It's one of them too. But anyways, she was talking about so the first credited, one of the first credited African American anthropologists is Zora Neale Hurston. And so Zora Neale Hurston did her research. She collected research from like the southern part of the United States, mostly like Florida. She collected like all the old stories, and so from like the stories that maybe were from like the 1700 things that survived orally in African American culture from that sort of part of the world. And
Right.
One of the things that she uncovered was this thing called the curse prayer. A curse prayer. And it is a prayer that had been prayed by hundreds, probably thousands of Black women who suffered all kinds of injustices. But one of the things that the curse prayer says is like, they won't learn any other way. Like, it has to come down hard. That was in the curse prayer. So
Right.
I wish that it could be another way. But because, capitalism keeps us in our little silos, and in our little individuated bubbles, and we don't think about what is happening in the world until it actually lands at our front door.
Right. Alice Walker
Alice Walker, yep.
is who wrote The Color Purple. Yeah.
Well, the curse prayer. The curse prayer is whoever did that speech that included the curse prayer around nuclear proliferation. I know Alice Walker wrote The Color Purple. I just can't remember who wrote that speech. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, and I think, yeah, that's a whole different show. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that play into this one thing called life. I don't know. It's too much for my head. I feel like I should read you what it says about fearless self-love, but I also feel like we should take a break. So
okay, so maybe we take a break and then you read me what it says about fearless self-love.
All right, we can do that. So we're taking a break. If you're out there looking and thinking and have a question, or let us know you're here. And, if there's something you want us to talk about or you want to ask, please feel free to put it in the chat, because we love, love, love chatting with you. So let us know if there's something on your mind, and we'll give you a few minutes to think about what could possibly be on your mind. And we'll be right back here in just a minute on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Well, hello there. This is Dr. Sydney Steen. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader of the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We are a oneness center for spiritual living. And I just want to invite you to something that I think is really, really special. In October, from the 6th to the 10th, at Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, the affiliated New Thought Network will be hosting the most wonderful retreat. This will serve your soul. It will lift your heart. And oh my goodness, I want to call it an advance. So come hear wonderful speakers like Martha Creek, Sonny Cantrell, and the music will be off the hook with Ricky Byers. There will be so much there to support your soul. I hope that you will join us. You can go to antn.org. That's antn.org. You can get all the information. You can sign up. You can use a credit card, and it is safe and secure, and I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
We are back right here on Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Thanks for hanging in there. And as I said before, we are about to start discussing some stuff. So if you have some stuff you want to discuss, put it in the chat and we will gladly address it. And if not, we're going to continue where we were. We pulled a card this week for fearless self-love. And I was just about to read what the card meant, because we have talked about it and gone off on all different tangents. So here it is. Let's see. I love myself fearlessly. I love myself as beautiful, good, and worthy, no matter what else is happening around me. My self-love keeps me well and happy. I nourish my self-love with daily acts of sacred self-care. This is the source of my true power. I listen to and value the guidance of my inner wisdom. In the face of negative messages and faulty beliefs, I return to the natural feminine at my core and celebrate this ground of being within myself. And I always return to self-love. In this way, I practice fearlessness. And the card affirmation is, whenever I choose to love myself, no matter the circumstances surrounding me, I am practicing fearlessness. And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh. Fearlessness in this day and time. It's a tall order.
That's for sure. That is for sure. It is a tall order. Yeah.
All right. So
Sorry.
it's okay.
My mind.
No reason to be
Such a-
sorry.
It is a tall order. Like this time we're living in, this timeline, as I keep calling it, is unique.
It is unique. And, I've said this before on the show and I'm going to say it again. So here it goes. It's interesting to me how this time seems so different than any other time. Because at the core of it all, we never know what's going to happen. We've never known. Doesn't matter who gets elected or who's speaking up for what. I mean, it gives that may give us a sense of security, and we may think we know, but at the end of the day, we never know. We didn't. I mean, the we I'm speaking of are the people. I have no idea what people in government know, and that's a whole different topic. But we didn't know in theory about COVID coming. We didn't know about 9/11. We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know. We don't know. We don't know how things are going to affect us. And yet, in this time, right here, right now, it feels different. It feels like a different level of uncertainty. Yeah.
So I guess, what's coming up for me is like, what does it mean? Because there's always uncertainty, like you said, there's always uncertainty, like always. Like, I feel like it is the thing that I feel like spiritually, it's like the thing that we are called to surrender to the most sometimes. This notion, because that's what humans do. We try to make things certain. That's, I think it was Marion. No, it wasn't Marion. It was Brene Brown, how she spoke about how we take away like the mystery of spirituality by trying to make things certain through religion, right? So the fact is, like, the more we can learn to actually build an uncertainty like into the sort of our spiritual practice, just as a knowing that nothing is really certain,
Right.
like, then to me that makes this time of uncertainty in so many ways not that much different than other times of uncertainty.
Absolutely true, I think. And I think that part of that is, I don't think the ask is really any different than it has been, because the ask is to put your faith and trust and belief and, I don't know, whatever, into something that we don't see. Whether it's religion and it's, we're being asked to worship something, or know that there's a God out there, or know that this is, working for our good. And it's stuff that we don't tangibly see. And yet that's really the rub, is that we keep wanting to see it. We keep wanting it to show up as, whether it's the red Lamborghini or whether it's just a food on the plate in front of us. We keep wanting it to manifest in a way that we can identify it and go, yes, there it is.
Yeah, we step out of the sort of, which is an egoic based way, which, capitalism is all ego. But, it's like, it's this egoic way of trying to interact with spirit. It's trying to make certain things about spirit certain, but limited by our egoic self. And I've been sitting with this question kind of secretly, but I know other people have also been asking this as well. Like, what if this timeline or this time that we are in, what if it is actually leading to something wonderful that we don't yet see? Yeah, there are a lot of people being harmed right now. There are a lot of people being hurt. There's a lot of that happening. And what if it's leading to something that might be liberatory in ways that we could only have dreamt of?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and if you believe what we say, you know, in new thought philosophies, I mean, I guess in any religion, some ways, it's all leading you to the better, to the better.
Not some religions. Some religions say you're going to a place called hell. Anyways.
Right. Unless you take the right road, then you're going to heaven, right? I mean, you know, it's like a game. The goal is to get to the better place.
Which is all ego based, because the ego is all about somewhere in the future, as opposed to why not the better place be here and now? Why must the better place always be off in the future? What happens when our collective prayer holds fast that even though, you know, like the ant that can't see the, you know, in the grass, it can't see that it's not in some big forest, but we can see it's the grass. The ant doesn't know it's grass, but because the ant has a limited purview. And just like humans, we have a limited purview. There's a whole cosmic order out there happening. And we don't know what broader implications that are outside of the limitations of the egoic human purview that might be working itself out for something that we haven't even been able to imagine as wonderful yet. Well, and the only reason I'm going there is because, again, this is what is happening is affecting record numbers of people that usually can just put on nice blinders and be like, oh, that doesn't affect me. That's not happening. And so for me, the metaphysician in me is like, okay, can I leave that there in this cosmic order that holds this broader purview that something wonderful may very well be happening right now?
It's a good question. I mean, and I think that's our work. That's our job. I mean, and I think, you know, when you said there may be something we can't even imagine being better. I would stop. There may be something that we can't even imagine, you know, because we don't know. You know, we don't know what we don't know. And so the question becomes, how do you live in that? How do you live in the unknown? When in reality, clearly we're masters of it because that's what we do. That's what we do. We just don't call it that. You know, but how do you sync that up? And, you know, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to answer that. So if there's something like practical or that you want to share with people, because I think this is the conversation that, you know, is, I don't know, that gets my stomach going, you know, like I feel it in my body, you know, and so I know we don't have the answers, but we may have something to give them, you know, like where do you go with that? How do you stay sane and feel protected, feel safe amidst all that's going on?
I know what's coming up for me. Again, I have always lived in this body. This body has not afforded me any additional safety because of how it looks. Right? So for me, when I came into the world of what I'm going to call new thought, for me, it was powerful because I had to practice that quote unquote safety had to be handed to something greater, to a divine and cosmic order that created me. My existence flows from it. And so I have every right to exist. And when I lean into that, my spiritual practice, then I'm not looking for these external forms of safety. I've never really had that. What I've had is this deep sense of spiritual knowing that I was created from love, from justice, from all that is wonderful about this universe. And I have a right to thrive. So I think this is a time that could pull us deeper into our spiritual practice.
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice. You know, I mean, I think that I would add to that, you know, if you find any solace in being in, you know, I mean, for me, the practice is to continue to go back to the practice. So just being in the moment and knowing in this moment, everything is okay. I'm okay. I'm taken care of. Yeah, if I turn on the news, it becomes a whole different game, you know? So back to me. And that's, if I can operate from that place, I'm not saying live in a silo or, you know, in the illusion that everything is okay. But at the end of the day, you know, if you can start there, I think that gives you the strength and the power to be able to take it out into the world on some level.
Yeah. Which, you know, that's what Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, you know. Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, you know, it's very easy to feel equanimity and peace when you're sitting on the mat, right? It's like, how do you bring the practice of meditation out into the world? And, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh said, like, the next Buddha is the Sangha, meaning the community. And that's why, you know, even like, it's why I'm willing to sit with, if the next Buddha, if the next enlightened or awakened one is the collective, then maybe something really important is happening right now.
Yeah, and I would take the maybe out. You know, something important is really happening right now, and we're all a part of it. And so the charge, the challenge, the invitation, well, for this week was to fearlessly self-love yourself. And I'm going to say that if you can do that, then we'll be able to fearlessly love each other. So just invite you to take that out into the world and join us next week, you know. And again, we always want to talk about what you want to hear, so feel free to let us know. And I think that's it from Albuquerque. You got anything else over there, Aussie?
I don't. I have to go get a computer.
Okay. So we're just blessing you on your way to the computer, knowing that it all falls into line easily and effortlessly, and that the same thing is taking place in the world. And we just say a prayer of blessing for the world and everyone in it, knowing that we're all in this world together. And so let's make it work. All right, everybody. Love you. See you next week.
Bye.